Elon Musk didn't want to be the center of attention this time. His plan was simple: to blend in, feel like an ordinary person, and see people's true colors. He threw on a worn-out jacket, old jeans, and scuffed sneakers. To disguise himself, he added a thick beanie, a fake beard, and a mustache. When he looked at his reflection, he was no longer a billionaire, just another guy walking down the street. He headed to Brewhaven, a quiet yet popular cafe in the city. As he stood before the glass door, his reflection showed not a tech mogul, but perhaps someone struggling through hard times. Taking a deep breath, he reached for the door handle, only to be stopped by the security guard, Mark, who eyed him carefully. "What are you doing here?" Mark asked with suspicion. Elon responded calmly. "Just here for a coffee." He pulled out a few crumpled bills from his pocket to prove his point. Mark raised an eyebrow. "Really?" Elon nodded. "Just a cappuccino." After a brief silence, Mark stepped aside. Elon had passed the first stage of his experiment. As he walked in, he noticed a few customers glancing at him briefly. Did his appearance really shape how people perceived him? Approaching the counter, he observed two employees. A young man named Daniel greeted him with a warm and friendly smile. Beside him, Olivia rolled her eyes and stood with a bored expression. "How can I help you?" Daniel asked in a welcoming tone. Before Elon could answer, Olivia scoffed under her breath. "You're joking, right?" Elon glanced at her for a brief moment but didn't react. "A cappuccino, please." Daniel promptly took his order while Olivia sighed impatiently and turned away. Elon was already noticing how people judged based on appearance, some with kindness, others with indifference. As he waited for his coffee, he observed Daniel treating every customer with kindness and patience. Olivia, on the other hand, was visibly uninterested, barely making an effort to respond. At one point, a middle-aged woman approached with a question about the menu. Without even looking up, Olivia dismissed her rudely. The woman's face fell, but Daniel quickly stepped in to assist her with a reassuring smile. Elon watched these small interactions intently. This was more than just a coffee run. It was a social experiment on human judgment. Did appearances really matter more than a person's character? Taking his coffee, he found a quiet corner and continued his observations. Daniel remained courteous while Olivia's indifference grew more obvious. The contrast was clear. After sitting there for about an hour, Elon slowly walked back to the counter. Daniel was wiping down the counter while Olivia was glued to her phone. Clearing his throat slightly, Elon caught Daniel's attention. Daniel looked up. "Hey, how can I help you?" Elon smiled. "You're a good person," he said sincerely. Daniel seemed surprised. "Thank you, sir." Elon's gaze flickered toward Olivia for a brief second before turning back to Daniel. "You know how to treat people right. Not everyone has that gift." Daniel smiled humbly. Olivia, still uninterested, turned her head away. Reaching into his pocket, Elon pulled out a sleek business card and handed it to Daniel. "Call me," he said simply. "Maybe it's time for a new chapter in your life." And just like that, a small but meaningful change was set in motion.